All right, friends, let me ask you a question. Last time you opened up TikTok or Instagram or maybe even Facebook, what did you see? Did you see the people that you're following or did you see things that you're interested in? Because what I've noticed is that we are heading into a new era of social media. And I think for the most part, we've been in that era for probably 1 or 2, 3 years, somewhere in there. What it's called is interest media versus social media. And the fact that people are now looking at their feeds and seeing things that they're interested in versus the people that you follow. Now, again, you'll see it most over on TikTok. I think they're the leader behind this, but we're also seeing this on Instagram. And finally, Facebook is trailing behind. But, I go to Facebook still and see a lot of my friends and family and stuff on there. But it's starting to creep in. The more of the things that I'm interested in are showing up in my feed. So what does this mean for real estate agents? And how can we use this to our advantage? Because there is some huge advantages to this. I'm going to give you some ideas that you can use to jump into the interest media era and help you get in front of the right algorithms. I got all of that and much more starting right now. Welcome, risers. It's that time once again for the Agent Rise podcast, where we help real estate agents build a business they love. I'm your host, Neil Mathwig, and today we are talking about interest media versus social media. So with interest media, we want to get in front of the right audience. We want our content to be shown in front of the right people that would be interested in our content. And an area that you could consider is people that are relocating to your area. Now, we found a lot of success with this in YouTube by nailing the living in and moving to framework. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But how do we get that same audience over on Instagram? Because on YouTube, they're searching for it, right? But on Instagram, they're not. They're there to scroll. And so the right people that are relocating from your area could be identified by where they're coming from. And if you look at stats and some reports to figure out where are people relocating in from. I'm Madison, Wisconsin. Where are they coming from? They're coming from Minneapolis and they're coming from Chicago. And there's a list of cities that have where most people are relocating in from. Okay. And the idea here is to go follow the influencers from those cities. Follow them, interact with them, unfollow a lot of your friends and your family on Instagram, clean it up, and instead follow the influencers from the cities that people are relocating from. Why do that? What's the purpose behind that? Well, by doing that, you're now telling Instagram that you're interested in their content. And the other people that are interested in in their content also might be interested in your content. So imagine this. Let's say that somebody lives in Minneapolis and they follow the food bloggers and they follow the local accounts. Every town has a, I love Madison type account, or, the local influencers. They follow the news reporters. They follow anybody. If you're living in that town, you're following the people that are influencing in that town, right? So you're following the same people. And then when you post content, Instagram is going to flash that content in front of the same followers. And those same followers are also most likely to relocate to your area. So now they're seeing your content and, oh, I'm thinking about moving to that area. Wow, it's amazing this showed up in my feed. And then they watch the full video. They even engage in the video. And then now they're going to see even more of your content. And that is how it works. And now we've got to put the right content in front of them. And on Instagram, what we have discovered is that if you present content by selling the dream of them living there and giving them point of view type videos that say something along the lines of, I didn't think I would find a town that has a rural setting, but yet is 20 minutes from the city, and the same person wants to find out what that neighborhood is or that area is. And so the hook draws them in. And then in the remarks, you explain the neighborhood and you explain the area with a little bit more detail. And then you offer a guide so that if they're interested in moving to that area, they now can have a guide, and you use ManyChat to set the leads up. So somebody that messages guide in your comments automatically gets the guide in their inbox. And so this technique is using the interest media, right? Getting in front of the audience and getting in front of the right people that are following the influencers in the cities that most likely people are relocating in from. And now your content is in front of the right people that are interested in your content, and now they're going to engage in your content. And it's not about being the best on Instagram and having the most followers on Instagram and being insta famous anymore. It's about getting the right content in front of the people that are interested in it. Now that's Instagram, and let's shift over to Facebook really quick. With Facebook, what I'm seeing is still our sphere is there, still our friends and our family are there. When I go through my Facebook feed, what do I see? I mean, I'll see probably 4 posts of friends and family and 1 post about something that I might be interested in. And so it's like a mix. But I mean, every once in a while you'll see a post like, who is this? I don't follow this person. And then but you're like somewhat interested in the post, right? And Facebook is starting to figure out what you're interested in based on what you watch on their app and on many other apps. I mean, they're listening to us, right? And so they put the content in front of us that they think that we would be interested in. And often they're right. And they know that if they're not right, then we don't click on it, and then they try something else, right? So I would say that Facebook right now is probably like, 75% the way it used to be, of like your friends and family, and the see, like, and ask concept that we talk about would work really well on Facebook. And then I say 25% of it is interest media. And so with Facebook, it's kind of like a work in progress, right? I think you're going to see it over time develop into interest only. But Facebook started out by by friends and family and followers and being connected. And so they're going to have to kind of work their way out of that over time. And I also want to give you a list of post examples. I'm going to go through that list here in just a second. But before I do that, I want to talk about YouTube, because YouTube has been helping us get in front of the right people, the people that are interested in our content, through search by using keywords. And we know that living in and moving to are the keywords, the pros and cons of living in, the cost of living in, the things to know when moving to, the things to avoid when moving to. We know that these keywords work and get us in front of the right audiences. We also know that we don't stop there, that we've got to get down into the neighborhoods. People will begin their search by weighing out different pros and cons and cost of living with other cities, and kind of on the surface think about what city they want to go to or what city they have a job offer in. And they kind of on the surface are just doing a little bit of research. Then once they make their decision that they're moving, they want to get down into the neighborhoods. They want to see, what is it actually like to live there? This is what they're interested in, right? And so getting down into the neighborhoods and giving them the overall view of the neighborhood, maybe the schools, the parks, the different programs, the different things that go on in the neighborhood, the association or the non-association. This is kind of the overall view of the neighborhood. And then do a driving tour where you just drive up and down every street, and then do a map tour. And a map tour is a screen share where it's you sitting in front of Google Maps and just showing them around and telling them where each hotspot is and how far you are from this to that, and just giving them an idea of where it's at on the map. And this is, again, this really helps people that are moving in and relocating in. It really helps guide them. And the beautiful thing about YouTube and why this content works is because this is what people are interested in. This is what people are searching for. And this is information that you can give them. And when you give it to them, you build trust with them and you also become their guide. And becoming their guide is the most important part. They're the hero of the story. If we take a little bit of story brand framework here, they're the hero of the story and you are their guide. And you, by sharing this information with them in a video and on YouTube, they're getting to know you before they even meet you. And they're seeing you as their guide again before they even meet you. And then when they call you, they're fanatics of you and they actually can't believe that they're on the phone with you. And this is simply because you have answered their questions. You have resonated with them and showed them that you're human and they see you as the guide. And when they see you as the guide, they call you and they're excited to work with you. So this process, right, is a process that we've known. I first discovered it in 2017, thanks to Karen Carr. And we have been working in this framework and perfecting this framework ever since. And it just continues to work and it's working better and better every single day. And now we're seeing this with Instagram and getting the right content in front of the people that are interested in it. And when we talk about like Instagram content, let me go back to Instagram here quick. The POV or the selling of the dream content is I think the best content, but also home features and market reports or just market updates. Again, if you're relocating into that area, you want to see what the homes are like. You want to see what the market is like. So, but please avoid the boring market updates. Instead, give market updates that tell them what kind of market it is, buyer's market, seller's market, how fast are things moving, how fast are things sitting. Please don't give a report full of last month we had 473 listings. This month we have 438 listings. Like nobody is going to follow that, right? So talk to them about is buyer's market, seller's market, days on the market, how long are things sitting, how fast is it multiple offers, is it not multiple offers? That kind of information I think is what people are looking for. Another area that I completely forgot to mention earlier is standing in front of the news. Standing in front of the news. I think of Bill Olson, an agent in Charleston, South Carolina. And one of the things that Bill does is he follows somebody that goes to the town hall meetings. And when this person tweets or posts about what happened at the town hall meeting, the renderings, the decision, the things that are coming soon, Bill quickly puts a video together. He puts the 3 images that came from the town hall meeting into a Canva file and then puts that behind him and then does a green screen recording and talks about what was just reported in the news and saying the city is now going to be getting this and gives a little update and then says, let me know what you think in the comments. Bill's even said that he has seen people, other agents share his content because they don't even realize that he's a real estate agent. And so he's putting content out there where he's standing in front of the news, and standing in front of the news, being a part of the news is a big one. And that's what people are interested in. So, getting your content in front of those that are interested in it, that's the whole point here. And the last kind of content that is awesome on Instagram is lifestyle content. The 5 best ice cream places, the 5 best coffee shops, the lifestyle content, anything that somebody that would be relocating. I just recently relocated to Fort Myers, Florida. And I get so much of this content in my feed because when somebody puts out a post about the 5 best restaurants that you must try in Fort Myers, what do? I got to share it with my wife so that we know about these restaurants, right? And that share just really, really helps. And it also tells Instagram, TikTok that I'm interested in this content, right? So again, with Instagram, it's the POVs selling the dream, it's the home features and market updates, and it's the lifestyle and what it's like to live there and the things to do, like restaurants and events and different things like that. And this mix, I'm telling you, is perfect for this new interest-based algorithm for Instagram. So I know I'm kind of going all over the place here with a lot of different ideas, but I'm just trying to talk this all through with you. And I've got more ideas here that work for really good interest media type posts. So I'm just going to share some of these here, just kind of rapid fire. The first one here is what 500,000 buys you in your city right now. Instead of doing a new listing video, do a video around wondering what 500,000 gets you in Madison. Follow me. Right. So that type of content is performing, and also people that are interested in it will watch that video. Some more around maybe the local lifestyle post, like top 3 coffee shops in your city, 5 brunch spots you've got to try this month, hidden gems in your city. You could go a little nostalgia here too. Nostalgia always works. Best dog friendly restaurants, patios in your city, things to do with dogs, things like that. Where to find the best tacos in town. You talk about food and everybody's interested in that, right? That's why the food bloggers and influencers do so well, because people are so interested in that. Best live music venues in your city, new restaurants that just opened. I know I just saw one down here. We have 3 new restaurants that just opened in downtown Fort Myers. I saw a local agent put out a video about, did you know that we've got 3 new restaurants in downtown Fort Myers? And then just did a quick video about the 3 new restaurants. Where the best places to watch the sunset. And again, a lot of these people are interested in it. They want the information, but they also want to share this information with a friend or a family member to give them ideas of things to go do. So this content lives on. Some other areas around interest media is, we talked about pets, but also parenting, best kid-friendly places, travel, my top 3 road trips from the city, or, day trip places, fitness. You can go down the road and talk about the best gyms and the best running trails. We already talked about foodie. You can go on and on and on. The best pizza, the best tacos. I did back in the day. I Love Madison. We did, who has Madison's best fish fry, who has Madison's best tacos, who has Madison's best burgers. We did a food competition with all of these, and all of them performed very well. And people want to comment and want to give their opinion. People love talking about food. No, they have the best tacos. No, they have the best tacos. People love to talk about food. So whenever you can create that is, again, that's going to be interest media. People are interested in it. One more that I have on the list here is hobbies, like things that you're interested in. I think about like Robert Birch in Fayetteville, Georgia. He loves aviation, and he is bringing his audience along with him on his aviation journey, and doing flyovers and doing aerial shots and bringing different people into the plane with him, and posting awesome videos of outside the plane and inside the cockpit. And he's got cameras set up all over the place, and just creating some awesome videos. And again, people are interested in this. People want to see these videos, and Robert is putting the videos right in front of them in a perfect light. And again, he's attracting people through something that people are interested in. And the last piece of advice that I have around interest media is, we used to think that with interest, or with social media, that we need to stay in our lane, right? Like we need to post only about real estate, right? We got to stay in our lane. Well, with interest media, it's about getting in to multiple algorithms. The more things you talk about, the more different types of content you put out there, the more algorithms that you can get into. And I see this as a good thing and a bad thing. A good thing is because you're going to be reaching a lot more people, right? A lot more audiences. But the bad thing is if you're talking about something like cheeseburgers all the time, for example, and you don't sell cheeseburgers, well, you're not getting into the right algorithm. And I made that mistake on YouTube back in the day when I did, the I Love Madison food tournament, and we had, who has Madison's best cheeseburgers, and my video did extremely well. And if you search today, who has Madison's best cheeseburger, I bet you my video still pops up. But the thing is I don't sell cheeseburgers, right? So you can reach more people, but are you getting into the right algorithm? And I don't think we have to overthink this, because we know what leads to a sale when we're getting in the right algorithms. We've totally got it figured out on YouTube. And now I think we've got it figured out on Instagram by giving the selling the dream content, the lifestyle content, the standing in front of the news type content, the content that people are interested in. That is what is working on Instagram. And over on Facebook, I still see it as a mix. I still see my framework of see, like, and ask. People need to see you. They need to like you. You need to have something in interest and something in common with you. And you need to ask compelling questions to create the engagement. And I still see Facebook as an extension of our sphere, although that's fading away. So if you listen to this episode 2 years from now, it's probably going to be silly to listen to because it'll probably be 100% interest media. But for the meantime, I still see Facebook, our friends and family, I still see the majority of them in my feed. So I still feel like the see, like, and ask works well for that. So I threw a lot at you today. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What are you doing to get into interest media? What type of content are you putting out that you feel that people are interested in, and it's creating an engagement and introducing you to clients? That's what it's all about as well, right? So again, we figured that out over on YouTube, and we figured it out in abundance. And now I see we're figuring it out on Instagram, and we've always been able to meet clients from our Facebook because those are our friends and our family, right? That's an extension of our sphere. So how do we meet people that we don't know? And again, we can do that today on Instagram and on YouTube. And I sometimes skip over TikTok. TikTok is the leader of all of this. They led it with the interest media. So TikTok is, you go to TikTok, you got a FYU page, your For You page, and you're in that For You page is really very rarely is it your friends or the people that you follow. It's things that you're interested in. And so again, TikTok is leading with this, and the things that we're talking about that are working over on Instagram, I believe are going to work on TikTok just as well, if not better. And the reason I think it's going to work even better is because TikTok to me is more localized. The algorithm really knows where you're at and puts the content in front of you. And so I think on TikTok it's even better. Also with TikTok, I got to say this, if I'm talking social media right now, I'm really excited, and I don't see a lot of people talking about this, and maybe it's just a rumor, maybe I don't have the right information, but TikTok as we know it is going away, and in emerging, and I think it was like in September or October of this year, is a new United States only TikTok. And it's going to be a new platform. We're going to have to download a new app. And I can't imagine that our followers and stuff are going to migrate over. I don't know if it's going to be starting all new. And again, I've only seen a couple different people talking about this. I don't have a lot of information on it, but to me, if that's going to be the case, that's a huge opportunity to go all in over on TikTok. I mean, just take what you're doing on Instagram, and I believe it's going to work over on TikTok because it's all around this interest media, and TikTok is the leader of the interest media. So a lot to digest here. And again, keep this really, really simple. Don't overthink this. Follow the frameworks. And if you look at YouTube, we've got the living in and moving to. You look at Instagram and TikTok, we're going to be doing the POVs, selling the dream. We're going to be standing in front of the news, and we're going to be giving out lifestyle and content that people are interested in. And over on Facebook, see, like, and ask. And the more content you can put there, if you got content that's working really well on Instagram, start putting it over on Facebook, because again, that algorithm is slowly going to start to pick up on people that are interested in that content and show it to people outside of your algorithm or outside of your following. And again, that's what's really exciting. Also with Facebook too, business pages might make a comeback with this, right? Because business pages are going to be about interest media, and you can put content on your business page that's going to stand in front of the people that are interested in it. So maybe Facebook business pages will make a comeback. I don't know. Lots to talk about in the comments. Let me know what you think and what you see is working well for you when it comes to interest media. Thanks so much for listening. Hope you have a great day. And like always, remember to be the reason somebody smiles today.